Tonight's first period on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by Papa John's. The day after the Flyers win and score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your online order using promo code FLYERS at papajohns.com. By Mazda. Mazda is KBB.com's lowest cost to own brand over 5 years. And by the $100,000 Sugar House Shootout. Register at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com/shootout. Beginning of a 4-game homestand for the Flyers, beginning of a 4-game road trip for the Senators, and the first time these teams have met since 2013. They did not play one time all of last year, their last meeting back in December of 2013. Flyers actually went 2-0-1 against Ottawa last season, and there is confirmation that the captain will indeed suit up. Missed just the one game with that leg laceration.
Great news as we take a look at our Kia starting goaltenders for tonight's game here in Philadelphia. For the Senators, Craig Anderson, he had started 4 straight, sat out on Sunday. That was a loss at home to Tampa Bay, and he is back in tonight for Ottawa. Steve Mason relieved Ray Emery Saturday night in New Jersey. Mason has lost his last 5 decisions, but his save percentage in those 5 losses still over .900 in those games, so he hasn't performed poorly. And these are 2 desperate teams, at least they should be tonight.
Mason has not been getting a whole lot of goal support of late. And yes, 2 desperate teams, both on the outside looking in at the playoff pictures in their respective divisions and within the Eastern Conference. Bobby Ryan from Cherry Hill gets to the puck. And the first shot of the game goes wide from Erik Karlsson. He'll get some on net for sure, as he is right up there with Claude Giroux among the league leaders. The Flyer combinations, top of your screen, to be followed by those of the Senators, as Nick Schultz moves the puck to the red line and winds it into the Ottawa zone. R.J. Umberger will tip. Claude Giroux, a quick shot as he gets his first shift. It goes wide and out to the neutral zone. And back to play it is Mark Streit. He'll deal it back toward Mason, who left it for Grossman, but Grossman missed the puck. Now he'll get to it. And he is checked by Kyle Turris. There's Braden Shen after it. He has his pocket picked by Mark Stone. That's young player for the Senators club. Dumped it deeper into the Philadelphia zone. Now the Flyers will clear it. And back to get it is Jared Cowan, 23-year-old defenseman. Turned it over to Giroux in the neutral zone. Giroux dumps it in. Flyers will go for a change. So a very quick first shift for Claude Giroux as he tests out that leg. Kyle Turris with a shot that deflected off the safety netting, I thought, but play carries on. There's a centering pass by Stone, intercepted by Simmons and cleared out to the neutral zone. Wayne Simmons agreed with me. He was pointing to the safety netting. Now we have a whistle as the puck was sent all the way down the ice. Gives us a chance to show you the scratches from the lineups. Flyers happy that Claude Giroux is not on this list. See that name at the bottom for the Senators? Well, he was the captain of Team Canada that wrapped up the World Junior Championship last night up in Toronto. He arrived in time for the game, but not playing. Curtis Lazar and Zach Rinaldo once again sitting out for the Flyers now with Giroux back in.
And congratulations to Team Canada. What a gold medal game they played against Russia.
Was a heck of a hockey game. What pace to that game. There's a shot by Eric Gryba that deflects and goes wide of the net of Steve Mason. Simmons throws his shoulder into Patrick Wierkoch, and the Flyers after the puck. But Eric Gryba's up on it. The defenseman will move it around behind the net. It's cut off by Andrew McDonald, but he turns it over to Gryba. He's quickly checked. The puck bouncing, and Raffl will move it to the neutral zone. And finally force it deep into the Ottawa zone. Flyers want to work the Ottawa defense, get the puck into the zone, and get to the forecheck. Here, Edward Bellemare waiting, had no one to go to at the point as the defensemen were changing. Tried to set her there. Wierkoch intercepts but does not clear. Schultz, the shot goes wide, and Jumping on top of the puck is Craig Anderson. He'll take the face-off.
Boy, there wasn't much of a friendly bounce off the boards for Nick Schultz. He was trying to get something caromed out in front of Craig Anderson, and it just kind of died. And the boards here are usually much livelier than that. Test 1-2. Test 1-2, right, Nick? What happened there?
It's been a long time since they played here. Maybe they lost some of the liveliness. No, hasn't been that long. But it seems like it.
Disney stole the liveliness.
There you go. Flyers win the draw. Here's Schultz. He'll try it again. But that time, although it did have a little more juice off the boards, it hit the side of the net, and Anderson took care of it after that. Vandeveldy battling in the corner. And to work that puck free and goes up the wall. The Cavalier is there. He's got a little room, given more room, and a wide and fire. Save Anderson. And he did eventually gather that. Got help from the quick whistle, but he was in the process of getting that puck. Let's head downstairs. Go inside the glass. Chris Terry.
Thanks very much, Jimmy. You know, look at the Ottawa Senators, guys. They got a pretty interesting makeup. They've lost some guys in the offseason. They've added some bodies. They fired their coach. The one consistent that stays here in constant is Erik Karlsson, the Norris Trophy winning defenseman. This is a guy you have to be aware of all over the ice if you're the Flyers, because he will join, especially if the Ottawa Senators are allowed to rush the puck. He'll be up on the play all night long.
He absolutely is explosive, dangerous, all those words. As a defenseman joining the players. An angle shot by Streit. That is taken by Anderson. He'll hang right on to it. Dave Cameron is the new coach. Paul McLean let go about a month ago. As you look at Karlsson, whether it's McLean or Cameron as his coach, he's going to see the ice a lot.
But, you know, time will tell, and the truth will come out about Karlsson's relationship with the Ottawa Senators' late coach, Paul McLean. This is Dave Cameron, who took over about a month ago from McLean. Cameron's been behind the Ottawa bench for close to 4 years. He has only been behind the bench as a head coach, though, for the last month. And, I don't know, Paul McLean never seemed to completely endorse Erik Karlsson. As brilliant as Karlsson is.
There's a shot by Grossman, deflected and hit the post. Some of the Flyers thought that was in. And, of course, it'll be looked at. A point shot from Grossman. You heard the ping. R.J. Umberger was one of the Flyers who began to raise his arms thinking it was in the net.
Boy, netting and inside bars don't usually make this sound. That was a full-fledged head-on hit to the post to Anderson's left, but it changed directions on the way, didn't it?
Yeah, this was one at an angle, a good angle to look at, guys. It clearly hit the post, but found its way through Anderson in a weird angle. Good shot by Grossman and a little nick in front. It hit something or somebody, and that's what caused the puck to redirect.
There's R.J. Umberger right there with the redirect, but
R.J. was hoping.
Yeah, that went in, I think, kind of thing.
Might have noticed Craig Anderson being even outside his paint. He's pretty aggressive on plays like that. And if the Flyers can get a good screen going with their skates right against the blue paint, they'll kind of lock him in on point shots.
Giroux on this draw. The Flyers gained control. The shot was blocked as Braden Shen now playing with Giroux and Voracek. Just to start this game. Clark MacArthur is checked but able to recover. The veteran who had an outstanding year last year and himself a nice contract with the Senators has the puck back. Diagonal pass out to Stone. He's checked by Schultz, but the puck ahead to Turris. Turris moving up with it. The shot high and wide. All the way out toward the line. Giroux is there, sending Voracek to the neutral zone. Jake Voracek still leading the NHL in scoring. His pass here for Giroux cut off. Turris looks for a counter rush, but he moves the puck ahead to MacArthur. In across the line. MacArthur dropping it back for Turris. Turris in front. MacArthur there, never got a clean shot off. Shen clears it to the wall, but not out. Erik Karlsson keeps it in and finds MacArthur. And the cross-ice pass there tipped by Delzato and off his skate. And now Braden Shen will move it ahead and send a high pop fly to the neutral zone. Flyers will get a change. We approach the 4-minute mark of this first period. Still no official shots on goal for the Senators. 2 for the Flyers. That deflection by Umberger does not count as a shot, is it? What off the post? And McDonald moves that puck free to the corner, but Karlsson's in deep. And move it along. It hops over the stick of David Legwand, a longtime Nashville Predator and short-time Detroit Red Wing, who signed with the Senators as a free agent in the offseason. Flyers move it back the other way, but they're stopped at the Ottawa line. Now Chris Phillips takes a hit, and the Flyers come away with the puck raffle, but he's quickly poke-checked. And it makes its way back out to center. Delzato will just hammer it in. Anderson out to stop the puck, and now Karlsson has it. Still only 24 years of age. They'll drop it off. Like Hoffman. Hoffman up the right wing with speed. Hoffman getting a little room. Behind the net, out the other side. And then out to the line. He'll turn it back down low. Stride able to jab that to the boards. Zibanejad trying to get it to Hoffman. Tipped off of skates back to the corner. Grossman pulls it to the corner. Vandenvelde over there, but Zibanejad will move it to Hoffman. Now Zibanejad again. A shot that's blocked off by Stride, who turns with it. And then goes across ice. Flyers looking to break out. Pass goes off the stick back into the zone. Now Grossman ahead for Vandenvelde, but he was checked there by Cody Ceci, and the puck pops out of play.
So we're watching Claude Giroux. He missed Saturday night's game after being cut in the Achilles tendon area of his left leg Friday night. And that was him putting his weight on the left skate to try to stop. As he came back through the neutral zone, Nick Schultz got more Giroux than he got Senator on that play.
I've been watching him, Billy, and you can tell he's laboring a little bit. I mean, it's expected. That's going to tighten up that cut as the equipment goes on. That's natural. But, you know, again, he's trying to get up the ice, and his shifts, I've noticed, very short. They've been very, very short.
Here's Voracek in. Giroux's out there again. Del Zotto in front. Redirection try by Giroux, and it's knocked away. Colin Greening will move the puck back to the neutral zone.
See where that deflection came from for Giroux? I don't believe he is going to play a down-low game. Stopping and starting is going to be the toughest for Giroux. He's been hanging high in the offensive zone. I mean, third guy high, often the center's job, but even more so with Giroux's situation.
Here he is, handing off to Del Zotto. Del Zotto angle shot, save Anderson. And now it's cleared out of the zone by Legwand, and back to get it is Coburn. Flyers trying to make a change here. As Coburn takes it back from Voracek. Voracek goes to the bench. Coburn skates it up. Winds it in. Anderson will stop it. And then play it to Phillips, and now Turris. Now Turris with a right wing feed, hoping for Carlson, but he's beaten to the puck by Schultz. Carlson now will backhand in. And Mason up the wall. That was tipped by Coburn. It was actually meant for Umberger. Now the Flyers after it, but don't come up with the puck. Quick shot redirected wide. Stone took the initial shot. Went off the stick and wide of the Philadelphia net. Senators still looking for their first shot on goal, but they're hovering right now. Stone getting it to Turris. Turris off to Carlson for the shot. That's batted down and all the way out to the neutral zone. And the Flyers trying to complete a change now as Ottawa has the puck back. The first shot for the Senators they were credited with. And now Carlson, and hammered at the line by Lawton was Jean-Gabriel Pageau.
Is this a penalty?
And I believe a penalty was called.
Well, Wayne Simmons is going to sit this penalty for the Flyers, but it wasn't him. It was a too many men on the ice penalty, and it was because on the left of your screen, you notice coming onto the ice is Scott Lawton. John Couturier is going off. Before Couturier got off, Lawton directly involved himself in the play. Generally, it's touching the puck or having possession of the puck, either one of those players. But when you involve yourself that much in the play, you can get called as well, and that's what happened to Scott Lawton.
Yeah, players are heading off the ice. You always want to go as hard as you can because the other player's assuming you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Technically play it stopped before that hit on the offside, but it doesn't matter. Still too many men on the ice. The Flyers penalty kill, which has been a problem area pretty much all season. It's its first look. And the Senators have the puck. Bobby Ryan side of the net. Shea saw there, but he could not do much with it. Zibanejad out to Carlson. Carlson shot, and that went off to something in the slot to the corner. Ryan battling there with Schultz. Couturier in there as well. Couturier wins that battle. And then is checked as he tried to clear it all the way down the ice. Did clear, but right back in go the Sens. Zibanejad. Way around, and it's Couturier again, and this time he makes no mistake. Sends it all the way down the ice. Couturier and Zibanejad out on the ice together there momentarily. They were picked two selections apart in the draft back in 2011. Zibanejad 6, Couturier 8. There's Vandenvelde leaned down in the corner by McCulloch, and the Senators get the puck. Ryan has it. Back to the point, Carlson. Drifting, looking for a seam. Deals instead to Ryan. Ryan back across ice. Zibanejad will have to play that off the wall. Then into the slot it goes to McCulloch. The veteran who's having a down year offensively. McCulloch, but still dangerous. Now Chiasson trying to make a pass. That one batted away, and it goes back out to Carlson. And he fans on the cross ice pass. Now has to go to center. Now he's checked, and the Flyers have it. And Omar will get to Vandenvelde, whose shot was off a stick to the corner. To it is Nick Schultz. And we'll just send it in on goal. And then head back to his position defensively. Half-minute remaining in the Ottawa power play. There's Kyle Turris. Deals on the left wing. Patrick Wiercioch tried to center. It was blocked. Turris has it back. Centers for Mark Stone and then back out. Wiercioch across to Carlson. And now in the middle, here's Wiercioch. Cross ice Turris. Holds shot in the save made by Mason. He had to deal with Stone right in front of him. And now the Flyers have the puck and outlet for Couturier. Navigating into the zone. Takes a hit from Carlson. Wiercioch gets the puck, but out of the box jumps Simmons. Flyers back to full strength. The Sens now 0 for 22 over the last 7 games with a man advantage.
Erik Karlsson gets enough power play time. He played the whole 2 minutes. So if you're a penalty killing guy for the Flyers and you're out there in the second half, you got to test him. You have to try him one-on-one at some point. He's not superhuman.
That puck goes into the penalty box area.
Say if you're watching tonight's game with your smartphone or your tablet in hand, you can buy tickets to see the Flyers play 8 more home games in January with the Flyers mobile app, and it's available in the Apple App Store or in the Google Play Store. My partner Jim Jackson has his iPhone in hand right now, and he's downloading the app.
Oh, I did that months ago, Bill.
Even though he already has a seat to the game.
You never have every angle covered, right?
Correct.
This will be icy against Ottawa right off the draw.
You know, Bill, you were talking earlier about Paul McLean not endorsing Erik Karlsson. I totally agree with that. And, you know, you're right. He was always on edge about having Karlsson in there and the way he played the game. It's one of those cases where you have a guy like Karlsson on your team. And, you know, if you take him out of the lineup, how does your team look without him in there? Yes, he's a high-risk player, but that's, I believe, what makes him unique.
I can't agree more. He has what you can't teach.
Right.
It's that sense of genius, that hockey IQ, and the willingness to take chances all the time. Some coaches try to take Picassos and turn them into house painters, but you can't do that with Erik Karlsson.
No, you got to let him be who he is, and sometimes you get the chances that aren't there, but that you don't want, but you're better off with them.
There's a shot that catches iron and then goes off the glass behind the net as the Senators chase on in a good spot there, but he could not finish it, so both teams have come close. Giroux fires one that's batted away by Anderson. Early on, 10 hits in this game. Manajad bounces one in. Mason will steer that away. Now Grossman checked off the puck, but to help out his benchmate with Stripe. He turns it over to Ryan, who centers. Abanijad was there, but it drifted to the corner. And now another turnover by the Flyers. Is a shot, and Mason the save on Zibanejad, who was falling to his knees. Still no score.
Well, the 3 NHL players you're looking at have something in common. They have all suffered injuries because of skates. Erik Karlsson's Achilles tendon was severed season before last by Matt Cook, who at that time was playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins. An arduous recovery process for him. Michael Del Zotto on this last road trip came oh so close to having it be worse, but was cut in the neck. And then Claude Giroux on Friday night. Saturday night, Corey Schneider of the New Jersey Devils with Jake Voracek's skate coming down when Schneider lost his mask. Weird series of events for the Flyers that they were involved in. And Erik Karlsson of the Senators can relate to all of it as well.
And he did not have the Kevlar socks on at the time.
No. And I will go to my grave still believing wholeheartedly that Matt Cook did that intentionally.
Yeah,
I absolutely
You're
will.
not alone in that thought.
Yeah, people, you know what? The Senators owner had a private investigator looking into it, guys.
Can't prove it, though.
You can't. It's how can you prove it?
You can't.
I mean, it's almost impossible. And you know, again, I know from Cook's history that you think the theory could go out there, Bill. The only thing I was thinking was when you look at the replay of it, it had to happen so fast, and it had to be so concise in terms of how you do it. I mean, I don't know how you could do it.
Now it's a
difficult injury to
for sure.
Yeah, awful.
Before they get things started here, they're repairing the ice down there. Tomorrow, Michael Barkan is talking about the Flyers and Sixers as they return from their longest road trip of the season. Watch Philly Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business tomorrow night at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. The Kevlar sock issue, though, Karlsson was talking about it, saying how I wish. I don't know. You don't know whether it would have saved him, but certainly his chances would have improved of not having his Achilles severed. He was out 10 weeks. Actually came back earlier than expected, but really didn't get back to playing the way that he's capable of until last season, the season after the injury took place. There's Couturier heading off to Umberger, and he'll backhand into the Ottawa zone. We passed the midpoint of this first period, no score. Flyers with 6 shots, Ottawa with 5. As Nick Schultz handles the puck. Now it's Couturier. He'll get the red line and chip it in on the backhand. Anderson handles the puck and moves it ahead to Phillips. The long-time Ottawa Senators, second all-time in games played to Daniel Alfredsson, who retired. He signed a one-day contract with the Senators earlier this year. Skated in warm-ups with him for a game and then retired officially. Simmons shot handle. The rebound was there. Lawton could not get to it. Raffl keeping it alive to Simmons, who's ridden by Carlson, but Simmons able to control the puck. He'll put it around behind the Ottawa net, out the other side. Grossman in on the pinch, able to knock down the clear. Ryan gets knocked down, or check that Stone gets knocked down, but was able to move the puck to Weirkosh, and now the Senators clear. Grossman back to get it at the Philadelphia line with 8:25 to go in this first period. Straight winds it deep to Ottawa ice. Anderson cannot cut this one off. Raffl ridden by Weirkosh. Simmons, and similar treatment by Greiba. On the other side of the ice, the Flyers get to the puck. Move it around behind to Simmons. Simmons into the high slide. It goes off of Raffl's skate. And now it's played ahead by Pajot to McCulloch. Bouncing puck, can't corral it. And now backhands and drops it back to Greiba, who flings it off the side of the net. Swatted away there by Mason. Back out to the point. Cowan bounces off a Flyer all the way out to Belmar. His clear is knocked down and kept in the zone by Pajot. He'll drop it back. Chiasson around behind the net, getting some room in the wraparound. Stopped by Mason. Alex Chiasson came to Ottawa in the trade that sent Jason Spezza down to Dallas,
where he was Chiasson.
Yes, he was Chiasson down in Big D. But
Since he's from Montreal, he's Chiasson now.
Yes, you say it a lot better than I do.
It's actually not an uncommon name in Quebec.
No, very popular name.
There's Mason dropping it off from McDonald. He's trying to clear the zone. 6 players right along the boards. It comes free back out. Condra's shot is blocked. We'll get another crack at it. This time the pass. Legwand giving all kinds of room. Walks in front. The shot takes off and finds glass. And now it's Legwand out the other side getting to it. Puck poked free and the Flyers have it. And then just sending it all the way down and icing the puck. It's good with Belmar. He didn't want to do that.
No, we've talked a lot recently because of the Giroux injury about the Kevlar socks. That's on the left, the Kevlar sock. That's an undersock players wear. The hockey sock that actually covers the shin pads doesn't provide, well, no protection from anything like a blade or a sharp object. So that's why players wear the Kevlar, and when the skates flap off the back, players do that for more toe flexion so they can generate more speed, especially off the takeoff. You're exposed. There's only that Kevlar sock in there. If you can get a skate blade in there, you can do damage.
That puck sat on the mesh, so play stopped. As you have a look at that little area there where that flapped. And you are poised to start skating, as you say, that opens up.
But as technology advanced and the boots of the skate became more and more advanced and gave more support, players didn't have to tie the tendon guard or tape the tendon guard to their pads the way everybody did years ago. I did when I came into the league and even when I went out of the league. But now the skates are so good, players can get great foot flexion and toe push when they're taking off and skating for full stride.
You look at some of the Senators too, guys. They have the socks on the outside of the back of the skate as well. And I wonder if that's because of Carlson. It's just interesting because there's no room for that skate to get in there with the sock behind it, the outer sock.
Yeah.
Here's Giroux moving up, but Voracek beats him into the zone, according to the linesman. So face-off back out in center ice.
It's a really good point, Chris.
Yeah, and
Carlson
again,
himself,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, Carlson, 3 guys on that last shift, as a matter of fact, I noticed. Coming off right there, Zibanejad is another one. And again, when you look at it, now you look at the next line of guys, there's not as many. But some of them are putting the sock behind it. And you know what? It's not a bad idea because,
I like it.
you know, that's taken away the advantage of the skate having to accidentally go into the back of that gap that we're talking about, the back tongue and that Achilles area.
Nick Schultz moving the puck in. Angle shot, saved, rebound right out in front. Couturier was there, but could not find it to get a rebound attempt. So Matt Reed is all the way back to play it. Now, you're talking about the skates and how much lighter they are now. That's also part of the reason why they're flying up in the air more these days. So, you know, what helps in one area might lead to more danger in another. But the game and the equipment certainly continues to evolve. Grossman winding that in past Anderson. He tried to play the puck, and the Flyers were offside. 5:46 remaining here in period number 1.
Welcome back to the Wells Fargo Center. You see the score 0-0. 5:46 to go. Time to take a look at our Chevy player profile. And it is this man, Vinny Lecavalier. You can see all his numbers. Guys get some pretty tremendous numbers in the National Hockey League. Next big milestone, of course, would be that 500th goal for sure and 1,000 points. But tell you what I like about Vinny, sat out, 6 games in a row, 3 weeks ago, when he's come back, guys, worked hard in practice, didn't complain. Possible Hall of Famer someday, and we have nothing but respect for a guy like that. That's our Chevy player profile tonight.
Absolute gentleman. Penalty
Yes.
upcoming here. Flyers are going to get their first power play of the game. Holding is the call.
Claude Giroux had enough stride to draw this one.
Ottawa penalty number 9, 2 minutes holding.
Milan Michalek right in front of the Flyers bench. Giroux was just coming over to try to head things off. And it was the old torque play. Go from left to right behind the player and grab the shoulder. Try to spin him around. It's really hard to keep your balance when a player does that to you, and if you can get away with it, you gain advantage. Refs are pretty good at spotting it.
There's your McDonald's power play payoff contestant. The best home ice power play in the NHL takes to the ice surface. And they look out. The Senators clear that puck, and it went out of play over near Chris into the Ottawa bench. Good thing there's that glass there, Chris.
Yeah, that would have been ugly, guys.
That was right at you.
yeah, that would have been right in the melon.
And I know your reaction time is still superb, but I don't know if you would have been able to.
That would have been a problem, yeah. There's no question.
His bleeding rate is still top shelf, too.
Back all the way down.
It's a delay, Billy. It's a delay.
There are the numbers. 6th overall on the power play. Best at home at 29.1%. Ottawa, good penalty killing team. Braden Shen over skates. And the puck is sent all the way down the ice.
A tough play for Braden Shen. Mark Streit tried to do the right thing, but when you're trying to make a bang-bang play happen at the blue line and the pass is in somebody's skates, it bogs down pretty quickly.
Voracek knocking this puck away from Anderson, but then checked by Greiba. Has his helmet knocked off. Jake comes up swinging, and Jake, I think, might get the penalty here. We're going to wait and see. And now Greiba in a bad position there, starts pushing away. Simmons quickly to the aid of Voracek. Gonna wait and see, but the arm didn't go up until Voracek started pushing, and maybe it's both players, but there was a delay on the whistle being blown, which would indicate just one penalty, and Jake definitely going to the box.
Yeah, he's going alone too. I think that's why he tried to grab Greiba with him. Battle ensued behind that. Anderson fumbled the puck. Voracek came in.
Number 93, 2 minutes roughing.
And you know what? I don't know why. Greiba ended up getting that bear hug around him initially, and then Voracek got frustrated and gave him a real hard left hook right to the chin. That's going to leave a mark. Yeah, that's a good one.
You bet it is.
He got his money's worth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can't have a problem with the call against Voracek, but there was a headlock put on him by Greiba. That's how his helmet came off.
That's exactly right, Billy. So I said they had a bear hug around his neck. I mean, this is where the puck, loose puck, there's a hug. I mean, that's a penalty. No wonder Voracek punched him. He's trying to free himself.
Boy, did Jake come off the turnbuckle.
Woo. Yeah, did he ever, huh? Woo.
Yeah. So the result is 4-on-4 hockey, and then in about 1 minute and 10 seconds, the Senators will get a brief man advantage should there be no other penalties called. And Reed moving up. Reed to the slot. His shot is blocked. Couturier. Hope that puck just wide of the net. Now he's got it. Couturier then forced off the puck. It goes out to center. Hoffman in a race with Coburn, and Hoffman will get there. The shot wide. All the way out to Turris. He stumbles, and Schultz able to force Turris and the puck back out to center ice.
Well, Hoffman got some wheels. Braden Coburn was not gaining on him, and Coburn's one of the fastest flyers at full stride.
You do not see forwards do that to Braden Coburn. I mean, he can skate, as you say, straight line pretty much with anybody, but Hoffman got a shot off, didn't hit the target. Lecavalier lost control as Cowan went for the hit. Red Cowan has the puck now. Check. Flyers have it. Lecavalier tried a quick pass to Lawton. It's intercepted. Power play begins in 15 seconds for Ottawa. Zibanejad in across the Philadelphia line. His shot blocked off by Mark Streit. Zotto over. He's going to reverse this. That's going to be kept in by Carlson, who takes a quick shot. Save. Mason threw his screen, and out Elzado ahead. The power play about to begin for Ottawa as Lawton moves up and across the line. He's stripped of the puck, was able to still poke it as he was knocked to the ice, but now Ottawa has it. Ryan moving up. 33 seconds on the power play. Does Zibanejad all the way across? Stabbed wide there by McCulloch. Now Zibanejad to McCulloch. Back to the point by Ryan. Carlson goes to Wiercott. He can really fire it. He'll hold on and now take one. That one off the outside of the net. Wiercott in after it behind the cage. Coburn played it back into skates. It bounces out. Here's the shot. Ryan blocked. Belmar went down to get that one. Ryan has it back. Belmar tried to take it away and does. A 2-on-1. Belmar and Vandevelde. Belmar with the puck. Belmar the shot. It goes high and hits the safety netting. And play is stopped as the power play is over. Game remains scoreless despite some end-to-end play there.
That would have been a tough pass for Pierre-Edouard Bellemare to make to Chris Vandevelde. Got no problem with him deciding to shoot the puck on this. And a good block by Bellemare that started this whole thing. Two of them.
You're right, though, Billy. Tough pass with Carlson there. I like the play by Bellemare. We got to hit the net. Just go for the middle of the pads because you got the guy streaking Vandevelde on the other side looking for the rebound and the left shot going down that left side, too. So it would have made it easier.
Off the draw, the Senators control. Phillips moving it ahead. Centering pass intercepted by Giroux. 2:45 to play in this first period. 9-7 the shots in favor of the Flyers. The pucks have entered nets. There's Braden Shen to Giroux. Back to Shen with room. The shot! That one went wide. Grossman back out. Voracek dumped it down low past Shen. Now Phillips worked on by Giroux, but maneuvered it to Turris, who flutters it out to the neutral zone. Now it's dumped in. No icing here. And so Clark MacArthur goes after it, but he's spilled by McDonald. And Braden Shen will clear it. Hit a stick, and Voracek couldn't get much on it. Turris will drop it back to Cowan. He's checked by Shen, but the Senators continue to control as Stone will go across ice with it. Now it's Ceci off a stick deep into the Philadelphia zone, and in fact out of play as it went into the safety netting. So we'll tell you about our Jeep trivia question of tonight's game. Which former Flyer was the first general manager of the Senators? Bob Clarke, John Paddock, or Mel Bridgman? We'll give you the answer later on.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is. Ceci across to Cowan. And we'll wind it in. Elzado checked. Chiasson, puck the other side of the ice. Stick pops free. And Bellemare looking to get to it. Plays it around that one. Over the head of Mason. He had to duck out of the way as that came off the glass. Up toward the net. Raffl battling at center from the red line, trying to go across ice. He's tied up by McCulloch, and now it's straight across. Flyers completing a change. Elzado ahead for Umberger, and he'll shovel one deep. Elzado has gotten some compliments from head coach Craig Berube on his play since coming back after sitting several games out. Now Couturier and Greening battling, and puck comes free out to Ceci. Ceci, only 21 years of age, moves it ahead. Legwand's pass for Greening. He stumbled. Simmons to it. Out to Reed. Reed's pass tipped. Couturier reaching. But it's Condra getting it back to Chris Phillips. Now 36 years of age, the former first overall pick in the draft. Down into the Philadelphia zone. Mason is there. To Schultz, didn't handle it cleanly. Condra punched that to a teammate. And now the scrum is on. 28 seconds of the period. Carlson gets the puck. A whistle stops play. And a penalty. And Francis Strong, the referee.
Well, do you want a perfect plan for the second half of the season? If you do, it's the 3-game mini plan. Starting at $200, you save 35% off your choice of a rival matchup against the Bruins. That's coming up this Saturday. The Penguins, Rangers, or Blackhawks, plus 2 other games. And you can do it right now at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
David Legwand sitting for this.
Yeah, it was kind of an arm hug. I see that. You had to have a keen eye to spot it down on the ice.
Call it tripping?
I wouldn't have called it that, but I would have called it arm hugging.
Not sure there's a penalty for arm hugging. Here is Pajot moving up.
There was in high school.
Giroux back. Flyers try to get one last rush here with a man advantage here at the end of the period. Voracek though. And the Deke, now Simmons. And the shot that goes wide. Simmons chopping at Pajot and then going after him as the horn sounds. Phillips didn't like that. And so we get a gathering as period number 1 has come to an end. No scoring in the period. Flyers with 9 shots. Senators with 7. Tonight's Flyers Senators first period was brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit kia.com. By Rothman Institute at Jefferson, exclusive orthopedic and healthcare provider of the Philadelphia Flyers. And by Kevin Hart's The Wedding Ringer, in theaters January the 16th. Mercedes-Benz Intermission Live. Straight ahead, John Boric and Al Morganti with their thoughts on period number 1 from the Wells Fargo Center. No score. Tonight's second period action is brought to you by your local Delaware Valley Audi dealers and legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive, the world's top-selling luxury all-wheel drive system. By McDonald's, any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Chevy dealers. Period in the books. No score. Here are the other numbers, though, brought to you by Rothman Institute at Jefferson.
Shots and scoring chances were hard to come by in the first period, especially for Ottawa, and especially the last 7 minutes and 38 seconds of the first when they didn't manage one shot on Steve Mason.
GMC NHL update takes you to Prudential Center. Flyers were just there. Devils got off to a good start against the Flyers. They've done the same against the Sabres tonight. That's Patrick Elias. This 6th of the year, nice tip in as he approaches 1,000 career points. Jordan Tutu gets a goal there, his third, and then making it 3-0, a short-handed goal. Travis Zajac in by himself. And so the Devils all over the Sabres after 1 in North Jersey. Not a surprise, Erik Karlsson easily the ice time leader for either team in that first period.
I think Mark Streit's name would be on that list had the Flyers had power play time of any significance in the first, but Mark Streit overall is the ice time leader for the Flyers. But we talked about Karlsson and his cardiovascular. I mean, his recovery is pretty good. He can play a full power play, but still needs to be tested by Flyers at the end of power plays. Nobody has an unlimited supply of fuel.
Legwand will begin the period in the penalty box. As you saw for Ottawa, a minute and 34 seconds of power play time for the Flyers to start the second stanza. Giroux, by the way, in case you're wondering, 5 minutes and 56 seconds of ice time in the first period. A little bit down for him, but again, the Flyers were not on the power play very much, so perhaps that had something to do with it. Perhaps they're limiting his ice time a little bit as he comes back from that leg cut. Jake Voracek in. Flyers trying to get the puck here and set things up with a man advantage. Wayne Simmons jousting there with McCulloch. He got the puck back to Giroux, and now they are set up. Giroux down low. Simmons turns, fires wide. He actually fired it through the slot. Never really did get complete control of that puck as it was bouncing and rolling around. And now it's Jason sending it all the way down. So both teams will change players. 50 seconds on the power play.
What are you doing here?
The second unit gets out on the ice. Andrew McDonald weaving his way to the neutral zone. Fires in. Anderson got his stick on it, couldn't control it. Cowan checked by Reed. Reed pushes it free behind the net, but it makes its way to Ceci, who could not clear. Couturier kept it in, banked it to the circle, and getting there was Pajot to knock it out to the neutral zone.
Very aggressive Ottawa penalty kill for sure. They jump on the loose pucks all over the ice.
Ceci is back here, checked by Umberger. Reed arrives as well. Cowan in there. Turris trying to pry the puck free. And it is finally Turris who gets to it. And he'll move it ahead to Condra. 2-on-2 shorthanded rush. Condra back to Turris. Turris with a shot and the save made by Mason. Couturier checked. And now it's Reed. The power play is over. Senators have killed it off. And they have the puck now. MacArthur back out to Carlson. Makes the deke on Couturier. Carlson into the slot for MacArthur. Intercepted by Reed, who turns the puck to the other side of the ice. But right there is Turris. He stood up by McDonald. Now Reed disrupted. And McDonald tries to fight Turris off. Deep with Stone. The puck bouncing to Couturier. And Flyers looking to get a change here. He'll bank it, and it does get by Carlson.
That's a good bounce for the Flyers there. Matt Reed and Andrew McDonald were in desperation mode.
There's Carlson looking to rev it up through the neutral zone, as he can do. They say it's onside. There's a broken stick in the mix as well. That shot is off of Mason at the side of the net. Now Braden Coburn to the puck. And Eovaldi without a stick, so he'll body Carlson, helping the puck out to the neutral zone. Michael Raffl, playing in his 100th NHL game, is taken to the ice. The puck back the other way. Here's Hoffman. Chased by Coburn, and this time Coburn able to close on Hoffman and knock the puck away.
That long arm of the law was ready on that one.
There's Phillips moving it ahead. Hoffman for Zibanejad, and will bank it into the Philadelphia zone. Belmar's back to Coburn. And Coburn takes a look. His outlet on the tape of Raffl, but he was quickly checked. He gets it back. And now it's Reed back out on the ice. Reed back with it and gets to Coburn. Reed, Lawton, and Simmons. There's Simmons in across the line. Swings it down low to Lawton. Lawton sent it back out the other way to Grossman. Grossman shot blocked by Legwand out to the neutral zone. And it'll be Nick who has to go back and get the puck. 3.5 into this second period. Still no score. And that pass not completed, but no icing as Cowan is back for it. 9th overall pick in 09. Jerry Cowan gloves are down. So are the sticks. Wayne Simmons and Colin Greening trading blows. Wayne Simmons got the right hand free, but largely missing with those. Let's see if he can connect. They have each other at an arm's length as they twist each other around.
This was set up at the end of the first period, guys.
Now Simmons with some rights. Greening's helmet pops off. Simmons goes to work with another right. Now Greening tries to come back with some rights. And now they're both throwing them. And down to the ice they go. And the crowd, Wells Fargo Center, they sort of like that stuff.
So do I.
These two were going at it, guys, verbally here right at the end of the first period. And I guess Simmons got hit, and they were going at it. And he said, better do something about it. Greening said, I will, next period. And there it was. So both guys doing a good job for their teams.
Wayne Simmons has got such a long reach,
yes,
and he had a good grip on Greening, and he had him locked out. Greening was trying to throw punches and couldn't get there with his right when he started throwing them. Had to go to plan B here at some point. See how short his punches were coming. For that matter, Wayne Simmons had trouble getting his there, but his long reach helped him.
Well, fight number 3 for Simmer this year, 42 in his National Hockey League career. Flyers beginning this homestand. Capitals, Bruins, and Lightning will follow the Senators here to Philadelphia. And from now into the early stretches, mid-stretches really of February, 10 of 13 games for the Flyers here at home. They need to go on a run to get into playoff contention. See if home ice hockey can help them in that direction.
The next 4 starting tonight. The Flyers are working their way up the Eastern Conference standings.
There's some tough competition. There's Delzato moving on in all the way around. The wraparound try is stopped at the side of the cage. He gets the puck back and gets right to the line to McDonald. McDonald will wind and fire. Knocked down by Anderson, and now Peugeot will send McCulloch to center ice. Ryan McCulloch waiting and then flips one in, and that's snared by Mason and no further play.
Well, time to take a look, fellas, at our Geico quote of the night. And it's going to be Flyers general manager Ron Hextall talking about his team. And you know what? About the slump and what's going on. I think the word you see is consistency. And I think that's a part of the game that you want to see. You're going to lose games. Every team knows that. Every good team loses games. But it's when you're when you go through what the Flyers have gone through, you lose a 3, then you lose a 5. You know what? It becomes a confidence issue for the players. Good thing is, so guys, I saw He stuck up for his coach. He supported his coach, and I think Craig Berube is a heck of a coach. That the players sometimes in this year have had difficulties going night by night for themselves. They've admitted as much.
Consistency, for
yes,
sure, has
for
been
sure.
what's lacking. The players will tell you that. Here's Streit, dropping it to Umberger. Umberger backhands, but it goes off the stick and out of play.
You see Craig Berube, he's always got a game plan. He knows, I believe mentally, guys talking to him, knowing he knows his personnel that he has. The problem is with the players is that I think that a lot of those highs and lows, they've been really low when they've been low, and they've gotten high when they're on top of things. They feel good when things are going good. You can't get complacent in this league. It's a long, long marathon. I think the Flyers need to be better suited taking on that position from here on in down the stretch.
Mika Zibanejad sending it into the Philadelphia zone. Braden Coburn first to it, but Zibanejad steals his pass. He's run into by Bellemare, but the Senators get it back to Karlsson with room. His shot. Save made Mason off a possible redirection in front. Now is Zibanejad again after the puck. And Eovaldi, Bellemare all in there. Senators come away with it. Reaching for was Hoffman, but he was out of his reach in that slot area. Behind the net, Ryan comes together with Bellemare. That puck bounces, and it's Mason who finds it and grabs it and says, let's start over here. Hard-working shift from the Senators right there. He fought hard for every loose puck, and it led to some moments, at least around the Philadelphia net.
Well, effort is the one thing that every player can control. If you're a pro, you prepare for the game, you adjust mentally, you focus, and you come to the ice surface with a maximum effort every night. The Senators have been hit and miss in that department. Some nights the Flyers have just been out of sync. This has been a hard-fought game here so far. Pretty well played defensively. Goalies haven't had to come up major and huge very often, if at all.
There's Turris off a steal, and Mason does come up huge, although had everything closed down. Didn't give Turris much to shoot at.
The Flyers will give those sharp angle shots, even if it's a guy like Kyle Turris, who's got pretty sweet hands.
Pretty play.
Yep. Square to him, huh, Chris?
Yeah, that's not as dangerous a play as it looks. You think, well, the guy's alone one-on-one. That's a save a goalie's going to make, hopefully about 95 times out of 100. Mason had the angle covered. You're right. You can be a dangerous player like Turris has been and can be. Mason squared it up very well.
You're kind of exposed to a wraparound if you leave your feet quickly, but that's where you got to rely on your D-men to be there if there's a fake and then a wraparound.
Chances, as you saw, relatively even in this game. As a point shot goes off the skate of Raffl and then catches the safety netting. He's out of play. We'll get another face-off in the Philadelphia zone.
This has been a very difficult game. Watching it from the ice level here, it's taken its toll on both teams already. We're early in the second period, but it's been a lot of guys fighting in corners, battling hard for loose pucks, battling to get to the front of the net, to get pucks back to the point. It's been that kind of a game. Both teams desperate for 2 points.
Draw to the left of Mason. Turris and Couturier, and the Senators gain control. Greiba across for Phillips. Little wrister batted away by Mason. All the way out to Reed. And the Flyers set sail for the Ottawa zone. Reed and Umberger. Reed will tip it deeper into the zone. Umberger and Phillips cancel each other. And Greiba is there. Reed trying to work the puck away from him. It bounces off of MacArthur. Nice little redirection pass there to Stone. And now Turris in across the line. Turris to the angle. Just sends it slowly toward the net. And MacArthur hit the referee with his attempt to get the puck to the other side of the ice. Couturier down by MacArthur. Coburn seals him off and gets the puck. And then lobs one out through the neutral zone. And to get it is Cowan. Flyers are changing again. Cody Ceci to the puck. Out of nowhere last year. They had very high hopes for him. Thought they were going to keep him down in the minors and have him develop. But he came up, played so well, he's stuck. And then he hasn't been going down since as far as the minor leagues. Continues to be a regular on the blue line for the Senators.
Funny how that works. All you got to do is perform.
3 Ottawa natives on the team. Here's Giroux moving up. His shot goes wide. Now behind the net, that puck never made it to Schenn, but it is kept in by Delzato for a shot. Save Anderson with a couple of sticks waving in his line of vision. Now Schenn to Voracek. Voracek takes a look. Delzato goes to the net. The puck goes back out to McDonald. Across, Giroux's shot, and that hit the player in front. And now it's McCulloch moving up. He'll bank it. And offside go the Senators at the Philadelphia line. Just over 7 minutes into period number 2.
Ottawa head coach Dave Cameron must have been having a flashback last night as he watched Canada knock off Russia for World Junior Championship gold. 5-1. Canada was up last night. They gave up 3 goals to Russia, ended up hanging on to win 5-4. In 2011, Dave Cameron coached Canada at the World Juniors in Buffalo. They were leading 3-0 going into the third, only to have Russia score 5 goals and beat Canada then. The tall kid in this picture is Curtis Lazar. He left Ottawa. They let him go to play for Team Canada. He captained Team Canada to the World Junior Gold. And when he was leaving Ottawa, he talked to Dave Cameron, and Cameron said to him, "Kid, if you're looking for some advice on how to hold the lead against the Russians, I got nothing for you."
Well, great story. And they made it interesting. That's for sure. Canada did with a 5-1 lead.
In front, here's a shot that goes wide from Zibanejad, and now it's sent back out the other side. Myers trying to clear the zone, but Ryan left it in. He was knocked down. And now it's cleared up and out by LeCavalier. He now has empathy. Does Lazar for Cameron blowing a lead, but they didn't quite blow the lead, right?
No, they were able to hang on.
Hang on.
They hung on.
Big difference.
But that was shocking in 2011. I mean, you're up 3-0 going into the third period of a gold medal game, and you lose it 5-3.
Pretty much on home turf. I mean, Buffalo's about as close to Canada as you can get. Not be in it, but they survive this time. There's a steal by Raffl. Centers it. Lawton could not get his stick on it.
Michael Raffl didn't see him in time.
Strite worked on, and in fact, Condra gets the puck away from him. Centers it, the shot. Mason, the save on MacArthur. Best of the night for Mason right there. And Voracek will just twist it through the neutral zone. Condra swat at it to get it back into Philadelphia ice. Voracek pass. Lawton finds it into traffic. He goes, kicks it out of his skates, and moves ahead with it. And drops it back to Raffl. Raffl around behind the net. Centers it in front. Voracek. Save made by Anderson. Well, Raffl saw Voracek. Now the other way. Pajot overskated in the play. Goes offside.
What a save by Steve Mason. No sooner had we talked about goaltenders not having to come up big, and both Craig Anderson and Steve Mason have made dandies in the last couple of minutes. That one on MacArthur.
Big save by Anderson, too, at the other end on Voracek. Got that left pad leg out. Jake with a great chance in front. And again, not a ton of big golden 10-bell chances in this game, guys, but the ones that have been there, couple each side maybe, both goalies have stood tall.
15 total chances. Almost evenly split. McCulloch. Check. Pajot will drop it back. Cowan makes the return feed. We approach the midpoint of regulation time in this game. Still awaiting the first goal of 2015 here at the Wells Fargo Center. Andrew McDonald will move that puck ahead. Umberger. Couturier. They'll wind it in. Doesn't have much steam on it. It was tipped, so Anderson able to cut it off. But he played it right back to Couturier. He's bumped by McCulloch. Now gets the puck back. Couturier. Slight hesitation there. Now Schultz around behind Umberger. Taken off the puck by Cowan. We'll move it ahead. It's kept in by Coburn, but he could not get it past McCulloch. And now it's out in the neutral zone again. Pass to Umberger, who tips to Reed, but he was quickly checked. And Turris comes away with it. He nearly lost it to Couturier, and now does lose the puck. Here's Voracek with a shot, blocked off by Cowan, and then it's swept out to the neutral zone. Oates has it back to Cowan, or to Coburn, I should say, and he fires it up into the netting, bringing about another whistle.
Well, it's time to make plans now for this year's Flyers Wives Carnival. On March 1st, you can rub elbows with your favorite Flyers, including an all-new Goalies Past and Present experience. Just visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com/carnival to buy early. And if you do, you'll save.
Wayne Simmons getting some attention from Jim McCrossan after that fight. He just made his way across to the bench after serving the major.
It's a downside of fighting a guy with a visor on, fellas. He probably caught part of that knuckle on the front of his visor. You can see Jimmy working on the knuckle.
Flyers move the puck in. A centering pass for Voracek goes through. Then back out to Grossman. Is it behind the net? Shen check. Giroux to it. Giroux up the wall, dropped it back, and Carlson read that. And clear the zone. Schenn with a pass there that's tipped away. And now the Senators have it back. Carlson couldn't clear. Voracek trying to fight off the check of Carlson. Does. Voracek trying to get out in front. Does. And he stuffed it wide. Schenn got knocked down in front. Now Giroux to it. To Voracek out to strike. His shot blocked. Giroux will have to play it in center. And now he's dealing with a linesman and Mike Hoffman.
But that's a one-on-one matchup the Flyers will take all night long. Jake Voracek and Erik Karlsson. Karlsson's a wisp, about $170. Jake is so strong that with Karlsson on his back, he can do almost whatever he wants down low.
Yeah, and Karlsson didn't want to engage really on that battle either. That's not the kind of game he wants to play. So you're right, Billy. Tremendous job by Voracek overpowering the much smaller and less physical Karlsson.
Belmar forced back into his own zone. But Delzato sweeps it to the boards. Right there is Gryba. That one did not get any deeper. Now Delzato tries to clear it. Hit Gryba. Stayed in the zone, but the Flyers have it now. And they'll move up. And Vandevelde had difficulty getting that puck into the zone. And Turris will head the other way. But he saw Belmar coming and then lost the puck. It's gotten back by Phillips, but they're offside. Offside, the call of the Philadelphia line. 8:16 to play in period number 2.
The Flyers GM Ron Hextall, he said yesterday, listen, if there are changes we can make that will help the team, okay, but we're not going to rush any young players here that are not ready. And trust us when we tell you there are young players ready to join the Flyers within a year, within 2. No real timetable, but the list is growing, including Sam Morin, who won gold with Canada, Robert Hägg, who was named one of Sweden's top 3 defensemen at the World Juniors, Oscar Lindblom, outstanding tournament forwards with Sweden. And Shane Gostisbehere is back skating after his knee reconstruction, blowing out his ACL. So you got 3 defensemen and a forward right there that all have, I'm not going to say NHL written all over them, but are top prospects right now.
And there are others. Here's a backhander that is steered away by Anderson. But World Juniors is a great tournament if you're a fan of prospects and future NHLers, and the Flyers had perhaps 3 of them.
It's the best. Yeah, it's the best tournament, junior tournament in the world. Is, you know, in terms of getting a look at prospects and where they are against high-level competition at that age. Very telling sign for a lot of people.
And if you play for Canada, pressure, especially when they're in Canada, and those guys reacted very well to it. And good experience for Sam Morin for sure. Didn't play as much as perhaps Flyer fans would like to see him play in that tournament, but when he got his chance, he was involved. Hey, got himself a gold medal. There's Ryan a shot. That one falls up in the air. Mason juggled it away, but could not control it. Flyers now just trying to clear the zone, and they do.
The biggest shock, guys, was people finding out that Ty Domi's son, Max, in fact, had very soft hands and was a great player. Not like, does not play like his father did, that's for sure.
No. Has a little edge to his game, but a little more skill, not to slam his father. But
his mom had a great shot.
Great stick hand.
The top forward, in fact.
Let's take a look at our Wells Fargo check of the game. And Braden Schenn here is going to get it right there on Alex Chiasson. Good hit. You see that shoulder to shoulder came up. Chiasson, a little bit of a taller player, but a great job. And the Wells Fargo check of the game belongs to Braden Schenn.
And Braden Schenn, coming into tonight's game, didn't know if he would find himself at center.
That's right.
Taking Claude Giroux's place, or if he'd even be on the left side with Giroux if Giroux played. I mean, Craig Berube had a plan B, C, D, and E.
That's right. As was the case in New Jersey without Giroux. Seen a lot of different combinations for sure. There's Schenn, who is out with Giroux and Voracek again. Lost the puck, but it bounces to Voracek. Voracek to the wall by Karlsson. It squeezes through to Giroux. And now Delzato racing to the middle of the ice. Fires one, goes off the stick and wide. Donald got the puck around as he went in deep. Voracek out to the high slot. Voracek with some space. The shot. Save. Anderson the rebound. Swatted, but kept in by Voracek. Makes the deke. Voracek holds the pass to the tip. Anderson knocked it away as Delzato got that one toward the net.
Cutting in along the goal line was Michael Delzato. Great shift for Delzato and for Jake Voracek.
And play called here. And Have to see what the call was. Almost
Well,
looked like too many men
McDonald's
on the
going,
ice.
but I think they got Ottawa for something too. I think they were pointing at the Ottawa bench.
Jake Voracek with scoring chances in this game tonight against the Ottawa Senators, showing his strength, showing his stick handling ability.
He looks like he's playing in a pond hockey game, guys, tonight. He's been that good in the offensive zone with the puck, and just so filled with confidence. Voracek, he's been good before, but I tell you what, he's at a confident level anywhere different than he was at any point in his career.
Just one penalty, McDonald, for interference. They were pointing at the Ottawa
they
bench.
were. They absolutely were.
They were, and Dave Cameron's filling one of the refs' ears with something. I don't know what his problem could possibly be, although
You know what? It is 4.
It is.
It is 4
Yes.
on 4. So they got somebody.
They haven't announced anything, and there's nobody in the Ottawa.
Yeah, and why is the draw not down in the Flyer zone, right?
It's 5 on 4. It is a power play for Ottawa.
They're saying they're wondering why the draw's not down in the Flyer zone with the penalty,
that's a good question.
and that is what I don't know either.
Oh, you know what it was? I bet it was an early change. You know, if you change too soon, they won't give you too many men on the ice penalty.
Right. It's a good point. That's probably what it was. The linesman did make that call to indicate you're right on that as the puck goes all the way down to Anderson. So Ottawa with the power play. A chance to get the first goal of this game. Carlson probably be out for the entire power play again. Slingshot pass back to Turris. They penetrate the Philadelphia zone. Stone back to Carlson. He's passed to MacArthur. And Stone right back to Carlson. His perimeter passing so far. Now they look to go to the net. The shot is blocked as Stone did not get that through. Hoffman has it back to MacArthur. And now Turris. They'll try to stay in the box, but here's MacArthur's shot. Shoulder save. Mason. And the puck's cleared all the way down by Coburn. Got enough of it.
Nice design by the Sens and nice execution, except for Steve Mason in the way.
That's tic-tac-toe hockey right there. Clearly designed play, Billy. You're right. He never waited after the pass came down to the goal line. Went straight out to MacArthur.
Mason likes to make a save on MacArthur. MacArthur scored 5 goals in 6 games against Mason in his career. Not that time. Here's Carlson. Across, Hoffman will wind and fire. That's blocked off by Belmar, who fumbled the puck. Now has to go back for it behind the net. Plays it around hoping for Delzato. Delzato tied up, sends a Senator to the ice. That was McCulloch. McCulloch gets back up to tie Delzato up in the corner. 20 seconds remaining on the power play. They dig for it along the boards. Delzato went in with a haymaker there. The puck comes back out. Hoffman across to Carlson. And now it's Hoffman center point with a shot. Staying right with him was Belmar to deflect it out of play. Good penalty killing from Belmar. Very active. Tonight at 11 on the orange line, Claude Giroux's gorgeous goal in Colorado, one of the best in the NHL this season. Find out if it made our list of the top 10 in the captain's career. Watch the orange line presented by Bradford Whitewater Heaters right here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Here's the last power play attempt by the Sens. Clark MacArthur's blast, and Steve Mason read it all the way. He took away the majority of the net. And if you're as big as Steve Mason in the right spot, a lot of pucks will hit you.
4:05 remaining in the period. The power play is over. He's out of the box, jumps McDonald. There he is, getting to the puck, keeping it in the zone. His pass across. Now the shot raffle, and the save by Anderson. He'll hang on. We'll step aside. Still no score.
After missing Saturday night's game, Flyers captain Claude Giroux is the subject of our Independence Blue Cross Fearless Play. And with a bunch of stitches in the back of your leg and an injury that is very tender and still painful, they're all fearless plays. And nobody is taking it easy on Claude Giroux and vice versa. He is still his feisty self. But at times you see him try to accelerate, and it just isn't there. That cut is on the back of his left leg, down low near the Achilles tendon, and he is just gritting his teeth and gutting it out tonight.
Well, his whole concern when we talked to him was how effective could he be? And he's clearly not 100%, but I think most teams would take 50, 60, 70% Claude Giroux over most other players.
It's a strong 80.
A strong 80.
Yeah, strong 80.
Here's Delzato. Grabbed and a penalty upcoming. Cowan's going to go to the sin bin as he tossed Delzato down. Put that free arm around as the referee is indicating. And so the Flyers get a power play.
Auto number 2, 2 minutes holding.
Jared Cowan goal behind the net pretty easy. Anytime you let that hand go off your stick when you're in a battle, it's just it's the easiest call for a ref because he's looking for it.
But you know, Chris, we've talked a lot about how much ice time Erik Karlsson can handle. I'm not sure Michael Del Zotto is not trying to rival him, at least with the ice time he's getting from Craig Berube. That was Del Zotto that drew that. He's been all over the ice surface. Offensive corners, near the goal in front of Craig Anderson. Playing a heck of a game as well.
Yep, he's had a very, very good game. And he moves his feet and plays smart. He can be effective.
Here's Giroux, winds and fires in the save made by Anderson. Schenn ridden to the corner boards. Simmons knocked down, as was Schenn, who almost got a skate up near the face. In fact, he might have gotten it. He's reaching to his face. I think Simmons' skate might have clipped him. Schenn's on his way to the locker room. Can this be a fourth straight game?
Yeah, I was going to say, JJ, you got to be kidding me.
Schenn went right down the chute after looking as though he might have gotten clipped by Simmons' skate. We'll have to get another look at this. The Flyers have iced the puck. Remaining time.
Well, you can go months in the NHL and not see injuries caused by skates throughout the league. Watch Wayne Simmons.
Oh, no, the
down.
stick. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Ah, there's a stick and a skate. Stick first, then skate.
that'll trim the mustache.
The skate looked like it came up
Yeah.
right in the cleft of Braden Schenn's chin.
Wow.
I mean, you hardly ever see skate injuries, let alone so many on one team in succession.
4 games in a row now that, Flyers in another team. That's unbelievable. We saw Corey Schneider the other night. Amazing.
The Senators will clear all the way down here. 57 seconds remaining in the power play. Unfortunately, after Del Zotto's accident, we talked about the fact that surprised you don't see more of this. The hockey guys didn't have to prove us so right.
Really?
And now a turnover by the Flyers, and the Senators move up McCulloch. And he'll just softly play it in. Not much happening so far for the Flyers with this man advantage. 35 seconds left. To change that, the second unit out is McDonald. Cavalier wasn't expecting that pass. And it's cleared all the way down. And the fans not very happy with the man advantage this particular time. McDonald off Lecavallier's skate. It does get deep into the Ottawa zone. Phillips is there to Greiba and up the wall over the stick of Del Zotto and down the ice. And now Stone is going to make the Flyers have to come back and play defense as he gets to that puck. Vandenvelde ahead. Power play is over. Senators back to full strength. 5-a-side hockey. 1:40 remaining in this second period. Greiba off his stick. Coburn trying to keep it in. It gets over his head. Turris reaching for it. Schultz cuts it off. Good play by Schultz. It's to Vandenvelde who dumps it in. Greiba is back. Couturier trying to get to him. Weirkosh will play it up. Hits the linesman. And then Stone furthers it to the Philadelphia line. Quick cross-ice pass here for Vandenvelde. He'll just jab it deep into the Ottawa zone. Gets tied up by Weirkosh. Still arrives to tie up Greiba. They play it back to the point, but nobody home for Philadelphia. Strike. We'll have to go back and get it. So as we enter the final minute of this second period, Strike moves it ahead. Lawton will fire it all the way to the cross corner. Cowan is there, and Ryan will clear. Strike hits the fake and then gets to Voracek. In across the line. Voracek back across ice. The shot! Lawton misfires high and wide. Strike could not keep that in. It's back to center and brought back into the zone offside.
Well, the Flyers will be wearing their home jerseys 8 more times this January. Secure your seats now to catch the team take on its biggest rivals of the year, and you can do that at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com or with the Flyers free mobile app. The boys are back in town looking to make a playoff push.
Schultz hits the linesman with that pass and he's flung back in on Mason. They'll keep it in play to Coburn. 30 seconds in the period. Nick Schultz hit it off the boards for Lawton. Lawton protected the puck well to clear. But now it's Cowan taking it. Nice little pass there to McCulloch, who's got some room. McCulloch, the shot. Save. Mason takes a swat from Legwand after trying to control that. McCulloch also was in there. And the Flyers clear people out of the goaltender's way.
Braden Coburn had his thing going on with Milan McCulloch. Scott Laughton took David Legwand out of the way pretty quickly, and the Flyers might have had more exception with Legwand. He's the guy that whacked Mason after Steve Mason had the puck clearly concealed and frozen.
They'll drop the puck to the right of Mason. MacArthur will take the draw for Ottawa. Couturier for Philadelphia. Now Couturier's tossed out as he took too long getting ready, apparently. And so Reed will step in. As Derek Amell had had enough, I guess. Wanted to drop that puck. And now MacArthur's tossed.
Matt Reed kept saying to the linesman, look at his skates, look at his skates. The linesman did and said, you're gone.
Senators win it though. Weirkach a shot, and that ricocheted out of harm's way, and the Flyers move it up. Couturier bounces one into the right of Anderson. Anderson keeps it away from Simmons. 3 seconds, 2-1 in the second period comes to an end. No score after 40 minutes of play. Senators have outshot the Flyers 22-20. Tonight's Flyers Senators second period was brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $206 million. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Players must be 18 years or older. And by Cure Auto Insurance, drive well. Downstairs we go. Chris Terrian with Michael Del Zotto.
Situation that period, you're getting up in the offense.
Is that something you looked at on tape before the game, said I can really be an offensive threat against the Ottawa Senators tonight?
Yeah, that's a strength of my game, and there's some opportunities that have arose, and playing with G's line, I think that really helps, having those guys that can make some plays.
What's one thing you think the team could do better in the third period to give yourself a win here and break the 0-0 tie?
A little offensive, some staying pressure. You know, we've had a couple good shifts, but staying there 3-4 shifts in a row, tiring them out, and getting a greasy goal.
Michael Del Zotto, thanks very much. Good luck in the third.
Thanks for having me.
Flyers and Senators not been able to light the lamp as yet. Intermission Live brought to you by Delaware Valley Honda Dealers is next. John Boric and Al Morganti after these messages. Tonight's third period on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by your Philadelphia Super Network Buick GMC dealers. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Shots, but still no goals in that second period. Here are the numbers, courtesy of Rothman Institute at Jefferson.
The Flyers with their 20 shots, they are led by Michael Del Zotto with 4. And of those 13 block shots for the Flyers, 4 of them were handled by Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Not often you see a forward leading the way in the block shot department.
GMC NHL update takes you to Montreal. Top teams in the East squaring off. The Canadiens and the Lightning. The East got Montreal off to a good start with that little redirection to make it 1-0. But in the second period, the Lightning would strike back. J.T. Brown picks up his second goal of the year right there from in front. And Tyler Johnson, the red hot Tyler Johnson, has scored a power play goal to give Tampa Bay a 2-1 lead late in the second period up in Montreal.
Well, if there's a little more room on the Flyers bench than normal, there's a reason for that. Is there, Chris?
We're waiting for an update, Bill, to be honest with you. And again, yeah, we're probably missing Brayden Schenn's the guy we're keeping an eye on. He left at the end of the period, and we're going to see the update and find out if we can get more news on that.
There's a cut by the skate. It appeared as
you know, it's funny when he came off. I didn't notice like any kind of blood gushing, but I mean, we saw the replay with the skate of Simmons, and it clearly hit him, and the skate was around the face area.
He was reaching up and clearly felt something. As soon as he did, he headed right off the ice. Couturier lost his stick in the battle for the puck. Here, turnover. Here's Umberger. Gets it back to Coburn for a shot. And Anderson able to smother that one. And he'll take the whistle. We'll take another look at Brayden Schenn as he Got into a tough position here with Wayne Simmons' skate coming up.
Shen on the left with Simmons' skate coming up, and he winced right away. Here's good news.
There he is. Yeah, the underside of his chin, I believe. He's got some repair work. But
Yeah, he got a little, it looked like it grazed him a little bit right underneath. Gave him that goatee a little trim, as we said earlier there, guys. But wow, still dangerous, so amazing. 4 games in a row, skate injuries.
Senators get to the puck here, and there's a shot by Chiasson that went wide. Now Turris trying to stuff it in, but McCavallier met him at the side of the net. And the puck out through center and down the ice. I guess we'd say 3, Chris, and Schneider was not hurt, which was almost a miracle.
That was the ugliest looking one.
It could have been, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that stick coming down after his mask had been knocked off, but he was fine. He stayed right on in there.
I guess my point was it was skates around the face area, and
absolutely.
it just was I mean, that was unbelievable. But he came to the bench, he was laughing, Schneider was, afterwards.
There's Delzato to the puck. He, of course, the first Flyer to get cut right around the neck area. He went right back the next game and played. Delzato dumping the puck in. Came back later in that game and played. He's a guy that sort of basically just set up. Happens. Pajot's backhanders taken by Mason. We'll get another whistle stopping play. Time to answer our Jeep trivia question for tonight. And which Flyer was the first general manager of the Senators? Former Flyer. Well, it was Mel Bridgman. That might have gotten some people out there. They might have gone with John Paddock. Maybe even some thought Bob Clark, but it was Mel Bridgman. He was not the GM very long.
1 season. It's something in common with all 3 of those guys. I got traded for the draft pick that turned out to be Mel Bridgman. John Paddock was my right winger when I played in Washington. And I have 2 Stanley Cup rings because of the 3rd guy, Bobby Clark.
Offside, they call it, the Ottawa line.
That's great, Billy.
This is your life, Bill Clement trivia question tonight.
That is terrific.
Well, I can go one more than that. See, Vinny Lecavalier wears number 40. There are high numbers. Jake Voracek wears number 93 for the Flyers. There he is. He's playing against one of the other 3 guys in the NHL that wears number 93, Mika Zibanejad. Johan Franzen wears 93 in Detroit. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins 93 in Edmonton. But Voracek's the 3rd Flyer to wear number 93. Who are the other 2?
Peter Nedved won?
Bingo. That was the first.
I'm not going to guess because you told me already, and I couldn't remember the other one, who wasn't quite a Flyer as long as Jake Voracek has been a Flyer.
But more recent than Peter Nedved.
Yes. Whistle stopping play here on the offside.
A surrender.
How about Nikolai Zherdev?
There you go.
Oh.
How come you don't remember him, Chris?
I thought, yeah.
Only kidding.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't here very long.
No, he sure wasn't.
Safe to say, and no slam at Peter Nedved here, but he wasn't a Flyer very long. The 93 jerseys you see in the crowd are for Jake Voracek.
As they should be. What a career he's putting together. And Jake Voracek's still only 25, so he's got many strong years ahead of him.
Here he is with the puck. Voracek lugging it in across the line, goes across ice. Giroux is tightly marked. Now Streit will flip one. Voracek may have redirected it. Save Anderson. Voracek has it back across for Giroux. The shot, and he missed it short side. Voracek getting it back again. Worked down by Cowan, knocked down. You don't see that very often from his stomach. Centered it, and it went off a stick. And now the Senators will move up. Giroux down behind the play, just getting his stick now and trying to get back into the play. There's a shot by Turris, goes off a stick and into the safety netting.
Boy, Claude Giroux took a while to get up in the offensive zone and come back in, and he come back into his zone. He looked like he was in pain trying to pick up his stick. Maybe it was the pain of missing this chance. That's the chemistry that we always talk about between Giroux and Voracek. Jake found him through a maze of players.
Turris in the way there. As you look at the blocked shots.
Yeah, I didn't realize Turris came that close to him. And he did. He probably just impeded him enough to take that shot a little closer to the front of the net.
McCulloch to Pajot as the Senators now try to apply pressure. That shot from Greiba is scooped up by Mason, who then has some contact from McCulloch. Flyers do not like that at all. Michael Del Zotto to his goaltender's defense.
Boy, Michael Del Zotto is making a very strong case for himself to stay in the lineup as a regular. Remember, he came in. It was his first. It was his first period. Was it his first shift that he got cut?
It was.
Was
The
it
very
first
first
shift, wasn't it?
Yep.
After being a healthy scratch, and he came back into the lineup on the road trip.
You know, the thing Craig Berube said, guys, why he took him out of the lineup was that he was trying to lead the rush, putting the team in difficult defensive positions because of him leading, getting out of position. He wants them to join the rush, not be the leader of the rush. And I think since he's come in here, he's played more within himself the way he did early in the year.
Whoa, a bouncer that went off the stick of McDonald that Mason had to be alert for right there, and was. It's a fine line, right, Chris?
Yeah.
I mean, you want him to be creative. The Flyers, frankly, have had a lack of creativity from the blue line this year, so you want that in your lineup, but you don't want to overstate it and as you say, cross that line.
He can skate, he can shoot, he can move the puck, and again, you use those tools. You can be a very good defenseman in this league for a long time if you use them the right way. But if you don't, and you make it difficult for your team defensively, that's going to be an issue with the coaches. That's probably the issue Michael Del Zotto had with two other teams last year.
Senators win this draw. Carlson will drop it back. Hoffman didn't get that past Lawton, but now it bounces to Carlson. Takes a look in front, but his pass, a rocket pass, is behind Hoffman. Now his shot is blocked in front. Spinning with it, Raffl, and he does find Simmons. Simmons with Lawton charging ahead of him, and now Lawton's offside. And play is called. And a penalty is called.
I'm not sure. This is going to go on Scotty Lawton, guys. Yeah, it is.
2 minutes for interference.
Interference at the blue line. You can see Simmons crosses here. And Scotty Lawton went over, and he ended up getting that leg inside of Chris Phillips, tried to stay onside. And the interference call is made here. So,
And what happened here, I think, Chris, is Scotty Lawton kind of backed himself into a corner. He thought Simmons, and I did too, was going to chip the puck off the boards for him because he had a great head of steam going. And when Simmons decided to carry, Scott Lawton had no choice but to try to stay onside, and in the process pick that penalty up.
So, an Ottawa power play instead of a dump and chase situation for the Flyers as Carlson will go across ice, and Ottawa is immediately set up. Bobby Ryan back to Carlson, the shot wide all the way out to Zibanejad, who's having some trouble locating it, and now he'll dish back to Carlson. Ryan waits and then fires. That one blocked by Schultz. All the way out to Couturier, and he'll carry it to center, and from the red line softly play it in.
And oh, by the way, Erik Karlsson can rip it too.
Here is Bobby Ryan to Kyle Turris. Belmar gets to him, steals the puck, couldn't clear. Carlson moves to the middle of the ice, straightens up, and now flings, and that's blocked by McDonald. Vandevelde over after it. And Vandevelde pushing it into traffic behind the net, makes its way around, and there Chiasson with it. Down low, Turris now with a pass. Ryan out to Carlson. Right back to Ryan. One-timer save. Mason rebound. Turris will take it around the other side. McDonald swept it away from him with a lunge. Belmar couldn't clear, but Vandevelde will.
Boy, really good job by Steve Mason to staying with that. When Turris wanted to try to step out, Mason wouldn't let it.
Vandevelde attempting a hit on Ryan there, ended up hitting the deck, but impeded his progress so the Flyers could clear the puck down the ice. 32 seconds remaining on the Ottawa power play. Carlson ahead. MacArthur left wing feed. Wiercioch back to MacArthur. Stone lets it go back to Carlson. Again, remains out on the ice for both units on the man advantage. Wiercioch, a pass that Stone gathers. He gives back to him. Wiercioch is another one who can really fire the puck. There's Turris looking for MacArthur, intercepted by Raffl on the backhand. He clears.
really good kill here by the Flyers. Got a couple clears down, but kept Ottawa a lot of stuff to the perimeter. Well done.
Senators move up. Power play is over. MacArthur with speed. Drop pass Wiercioch. Back to MacArthur. The shot. Save. Mason. Rebound all the way out to Giroux. He turns and heads the other way. He's getting help. Giroux in across the line. Cuts to the middle. His pass. And the shot. Schenn is blocked. And now the other way goes MacArthur. He is at the end of his shift. So he'll just chip one in. And Mason will bat that one away. Del Zotto and Ceci on the boards. Condro will fire it to the other side of the ice. Voracek is there. Great job of maneuvering around one forechecker. The second one, he was looking for Streit, who had turned around and didn't see it coming. Now Hoffman cuts on in and scores! Voracek ends up turning the puck over. Flyers seem to think maybe the play was offside. The Senators have a 1-0 lead.
Nobody seems to be arguing it from the Flyers side here.
I was right in front, guys. I thought that Cowan came back on, and you'll see, no, he was not offside. It looked like he had to skate on the outside.
Boy, it looked offside to me, Chris.
Well, from the human eye, Billy, when he came out, I thought the far skate was on. And you know what? I didn't look at the middle guy.
Yeah, it's the guy on the left from the replay, yeah.
Yeah, I got
Just
caught
keep
looking
watching,
at Cowan. It's the third guy.
watching the left of your screen.
Right there.
There. And he was off. He never got out.
And the crowd saw that on the big screen, so they're not happy. Flyers are down with 13:15 to play here in the third period. Mike Hoffman gets the goal. It is 13 goals to lead the Ottawa Senators. Now the Yale fire that one across ice. Jared Cowan, the only assist. And that goal for Ottawa. Play developed off that turnover by Voracek. He made one great move, and then the second play sort of let the puck drift into the middle. I think he was counting on Mark Streit, but Streit was turning around, drifting back defensively, and Flyers never got the puck back. Coburn bumped by Zibanejad. Now it's Reed. Ahead to Couturier. They'll flutter one in, hoping for Umberger. Weirkosh there first. Umberger does barrel into him, but the puck to McCulloch. Now Ryan is checked. The Flyers have it back. Senators now 30 shots on goal in this game. 23 of them since the start of the second period. There is Streit. Backhanding off glass into the Ottawa zone. Anderson cuts it up. Now he's having some trouble. It's stolen by Couturier, but he fired it wide through the slot. Voracek. Going to work around Weirkosh. Don't want to get a penalty there. Carlson will move it to MacArthur. Touch pass for Turris. Had to reach back. Now Turris will sift that one through deep into the Philadelphia zone. Grossman for Voracek. Voracek across ice. Schenn is stopped right at the red line. Turris the other way. Kyle Turris with a shot. Wide. Back out Jason. Gets to MacArthur. And now Ceci. Cody Ceci moving into the circle. Fires. Blocked by Schenn. And now Giroux starts the Flyers back the other way. Voracek up the right wing. Voracek and across the line. Pass to Schenn. He's hooked. Penalty. MacArthur will go. He doesn't think so, but he's going to go. The Flyers will get a power play. And they'll try to tie this thing back up when we return.
Well, taking another look at the play that Ottawa made, the puck was across the blue line. You could see in the top left that there is a skate still inside the Flyers zone. So it was a close call. But it was offside.
But Buck MacArthur has taken a penalty, hooking the call. The Flyers power play, which has been good at home this year, although it has struggled some here tonight, has a chance to tie the game back up. Drew, Simmons, Schenn up front. Voracek and Streit on the points. For Sherman from Maple Shade, New Jersey, hoping the Flyers can put some money in her pocket and tie the game. And off the draw, the Flyers gain control. Voracek to Streit. And now it's Giroux. Phillips way out on Giroux. He gets it down to Simmons, who scores! Power play goal number 9 this season for Wayne Simmons. Great feed from Giroux. Game is tied at 1. Simmons scores for a case of Tasty King.
And if you spend too much time pushing up in the zone, you leave Wayne Simmons with enough time and enough space to turn around. And when you do that, he'll burn you. Even Craig Anderson's poke check couldn't get to him in time.
Really, really dangerous play. You're right. And Billy, you said a key word right there. Simmons had enough room to turn around. Desai was off the goal line a little bit. When you're deep, the goalie's not allowed or is not really afraid of that situation. but Simmons became wide open in front by giving himself that space. Great goal by Simmons.
Wayne Simmons right up at the top of the National Hockey League in power play goals. There's 9 of them. And that puck deflects off of Reed. The crowd thoroughly into this game now, and see if the Flyers can feed off of that. Zibanejad misfires on that pass, so icing is the call. Giroux and Strike, the helpers, at 8:59.
I think Craig Anderson, Ottawa's goalie, must be kicking himself in the rear end for trying this poke check because it ramped right up his stick, right up the paddle. Then it looked like it might have even ramped up the blocker. It wasn't going to ramp up the twine when it hit it. It sort of fell in for a goal.
Wayne Simmons' 16th goal overall. He now has sole leadership of that category for the Flyers. Power back, rehabilitation, comeback goal. As the Flyers come back just 2 minutes, 23 seconds after Ottawa had taken the lead.
Craig Berube coming right back out with Giroux's line as well. Offensive zone face-off.
And they win the draw. The shot from Schenn sticked away by Anderson. And the clear ahead. Flyers get it right back. Grossman got it to Schenn across for Voracek. Voracek it across the line. His shot sails. Finds the glass. Grossman keeps it in with the backhand. Unable to maneuver there, and it's CC ahead. Hoffman clears into the Philadelphia zone. Sens go for a change. We hit the midway point of this third period in a 1-1 game. Giroux scoops one, and out to scoop it himself is Anderson, and play is stopped. Set up for a good finish here at the Wells Fargo Center. Simmons has tied things here in the third. Tied at 1 here in the third. Coming up later on tonight, Comcast Sportsnet, Sportsnet Central. Let's get a preview. Ron Burke and Layla Rahimi.
Thank you, JJ. Here is a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central following Flyers postgame live. Much more on Claude Giroux's return. Plus, would Chip Kelly be willing to offer a king's ransom to get his hands on his college quarterback Marcus Mariota? We'll examine that possibility.
Fancy. And see who is headed to baseball's Hall of Fame. Plus, we check in on Villanova to see if they can bounce back. But for now, it's back to Jim, Bill, and Chris, guys.
Thank you very much. And let's take a look, guys, at our Hyundai save of the game. It is going to be Steve Mason on a great one-timer by Clark MacArthur. Short side, got the shoulder up. That is outstanding save. One of the reasons we are tied at 1 here in the third period. Both good goalies tonight for both teams. The Hyundai save of the game, Steve Mason.
The draw here will be to the left of Craig Anderson, who has stopped 25 of 26 Flyer offerings. And the Sens gain control. Cody Ceci. Now Chiasson. We get ahead. MacArthur could not get that past Coburn, but then Coburn nearly lost it. He is able to push it to the boards where Schultz chops it ahead to Reed. Rink wide feed handled beautifully by LeCavalier, but he's met by Cowan. Reed knocked down Cowan's clear, but it bounces to Turris. And now here is MacArthur. Runs on the brakes, drops it off for Chiasson, who fired it through the slot all the way out to Wierkosh. Patrick Wierkosh around behind the Philadelphia United's path where Chiasson is tipped. Wierkosh gets it back, ridden all the way by Coburn, and now Reed takes over. And Wierkosh got his arm around Reed. The puck bounces free. Chiasson the other way. Got some help up the middle. Here's the shot. Save Mason on MacArthur. And he'll hang on again. On this night, Mason has had answers for Clark MacArthur.
It's a dangerous play here. Ottawa coming back in transition. Matt Reed not getting the puck up. Gets back-checked by the defenseman Wierkoch, and then they come back the other way. The Senators here face on with a quick pass over to MacArthur, and a good save by Mason, trying to go up on that glove side of Mason. Again, good goaltending.
It looked like MacArthur was getting closed on pretty quickly to his left by Wayne Simmons, so he hurried the shot. Steve Mason read it all the way.
Flyers win the draw, and Mark Streit moves it ahead, tipped by Voracek. Braden Schenn hustles over to one-handed deep into the Ottawa zone. Giroux trying to get around some interference to get into the forecheck. Zibanejad has the puck. Headed to Carlson. Now ahead, Bobby Ryan. Out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That one wide, bounces all the way out toward Hoffman and jabbed out to the neutral zone by Schenn. Back from the Senators. Carlson bouncing that one toward Mason. Will deflect it to Streit. 8:35 remaining third period. Mark Streit navigating his way through the neutral zone. Finds Simmons, back to Streit. Streit for Laughton. The shot to save the puck. High in the air, batted out of harm's way by Gryba. And now the Senators move back. McCulloch to Condra. Condra in across the line. Back to McCulloch. Back in front. Loose puck. Mason down. Where's the puck? Whistle stops play. It's not in the net. And now some pushing and shoving. Outlaw's got to be careful there. I think he might have caught the referee with his stick as he was scrambling with an Ottawa player.
Scott Laughton was really roughing J.G. Pajot up, who was down in the paint, poking away at the puck. But the Flyers with a golden opportunity on Craig Anderson, the other end. Mark Streit thought he was going to shoot past to Laughton, and watch the help that Anderson got right in front from Eric Gryba. It was going to drop down, it looked like, maybe inches from the goal line. Good angle here. Oh.
Yeah, that would probably fall in behind him, Bill. Or hit him in the back and bounced into the net. They come back the other way. Condra with that pass to McCulloch. And this is where the scrum ensues. You could see that puck was going in. Last second, guys, I think Mason dove back and got his glove on this.
They're going to look at this. They're going to watch this. There's the paddle of the stick. And then Mason seems to haul it in.
Yep, he had it.
And Scott Laughton went to work on Pajot. It's about the third cross-check.
Even more painful and super slow, isn't it?
If you're Pajot.
Yes. So the officials have congregated over by the scorers bench. This one does not take very long. Francis Sharon will tell us what was discovered.
After we review, the puck never crossed the goal line, no goal.
We assume they're talking about the puck near Steve Mason and not the other end. And there it is. Mason was on that. Just saw that. That lunge with the paddle, and the paddle was in that spot where that puck was. Otherwise, it drifts into the net.
Good job by Mason. Good hand-eye coordination and dangerous play.
Michael
both ends.
Raffl had him backed up, didn't he?
He had him backed up, Bill.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Senators get control. Pajot across. Gryba winds, fires, and Mason fought that one off. It might have hit Condra. And now it comes back out in front. Tipped by Simmons, but not controlled. And Pajot gets it back out to Gryba. Across for Phillips, a wrist shot. Glances off of Mason and goes wide. Pajot leaned on, and the Flyers have it. There's Raffl ahead to Simmons. Simmons will chip, and he'll also chase, but Phillips is there first. There's Phillips. Nice outlet pass to teammate Condra, but he's upended in the neutral zone, and the Flyers get it back. 7.5 remaining here in the third. 1-1 game. And Eovaldi pushes that into the Ottawa zone. Cavalier goes after it. Taken to the ice. Jared Cowan has it. So Gryba, and now the outlet on the money. It's MacArthur. Chiasson back for MacArthur. Wrapped up by Schultz. Taken down by Schultz. No penalty call. MacArthur behind the net. Again battling with Schultz. He's back out towards Ceci and gets past him and down the ice. Cowan eludes the check from Belmont. Cody Ceci takes the puck. Outlets Turris. Now MacArthur. Going to play it deep, hoping for Turris. Off the wall, Turris got a stab at it, but it deflects high in the air toward the slot. Pushed ahead, but not out of the zone. And Ottawa goes back to work. Ryan pushes around behind the net, but Streit takes over. Streit ahead, hoping for Umberger. It's deflected back. Streit right at his line, has it jabbed away by Ryan. Bobby Ryan moving up. Ryan the shot. Mason was there, holding his ground. Streit hesitating and gets to Grossman. Grossman's pass for Reed intercepted by Ryan. Ryan lost his stick and appears to be in pain as he heads back to the Ottawa bench. Hunched over, Bobby Ryan, the latest to get nicked. Reed with the puck for Philadelphia. Reed, the backhander, right at chest level, handled by Anderson, and he'll pin it right there. Ryan in a lot of pain.
That's a finger, guys. He came back, and I think he got whacked right on the glove. Came off, you'll see right there. Right, a little slash right there by Grossman. That's an old move from way back when. You can see right there the stick came in. Tip of his finger who's probably going to end up losing a fingernail over that, which I can tell you will not feel good. That hurts really bad for about 3 minutes.
Sounds like a trick that you employed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not fun.
There's Coburn stripped from behind. Condra goes the other way. Into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn has the other side of the ice. Voracek deflects it. Peugeot will take it out to the neutral zone. 5:40 inning in the third. That's a 13-8 in favor of Ottawa here in the third period. 28 shots in the last 35 minutes of play. Here's Voracek moving in. Pivots. Finds Giroux. One-timer. Save Anderson. Craig Anderson flashing some leather to deny Giroux. And we remain tied at 1. Giroux trying to be a hero as he comes back to the lineup. Anderson had other ideas. Tonight's Flyers Senators game is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. 5:24 remaining in the third. Flyers trying to find a way here in the first of 4 consecutive home games. Simmons. Lawton. Lawton check, working hard to continue to maintain possession of the puck, but Turris finally takes it away. And starts back. Now Turris to MacArthur. They say that's onside as Jason moved up. Now it goes back out to Wiercioch for a shot that's blocked. That one stung Lawton. And now here's MacArthur's shot, blocked by Simmons. But MacArthur gets it back, winds it, fires. That one goes high and wide. And now Raffl is toppled by Turris. Grossman all tied up by Jason. And the Flyers do find an alley to clear the zone as Raffl banks it down the ice. Scott Lawton made his way to the locker room after blocking that shot. Carlson for Hoffman. Hoffman up into the zone, around to the other side of the ice. Ryan. Robbie Ryan is recovered. Coburn strips him of the puck, though. Ryan stays with him. Forces the reversal. And now Nick Schultz just chipping it ahead through Umberger. Couturier will chase with Cowan. They come together in the corner. And the Senators get the puck. Erik Karlsson. This is when he can be so dangerous. Karlsson with a shot. And Delzato stayed with him beautifully, deflected that puck out of play.
Well, let's take a look at our Toyota turning point of this hockey game. It's going to be Wayne Simmons tying goal here. But Ottawa with a 1-0 lead on a questionable offside call. A few minutes later, Flyers power play. Quick play down to Simmons and a turnaround. Great goal to tie it at 1. You'll see the numbers right there, guys. Last 4 years. You throw out that top guy who is a power play scoring machine, Ovechkin. Simmons is right there at the top. Does a great job in front of the net.
And was hardly used on the power play in Los Angeles before he became a Flyer.
Flyers with 21 blocked shots in this game. Here's a turnover. The puck all the way out to Delzato for a shot that went wide. Now Voracek pushed that by Phillips. Voracek maintains possession. Voracek to the slot. His shot blocked. He's got 4 cents to deal with, and they finally get the puck away from him. And now Peugeot, the right wing feed to Condra. Condra, the angle drive. Glove save. Mason. He flashes some leather.
Well, you can kick up your Flyers experience and take it up a notch in the new year with your own suite for the night. That includes private bathroom, wait service, some great catering options, 12 to 24 guests. Any questions? I rest my case. 215-389-9500.
Delzato firing that one wide. Giroux didn't quite see that puck coming his way right as it was turned over by the Sens and couldn't get to it. Delzato then missing the target. Straight ahead here for Bellemare. Bellemare up the middle. Trying to stay with that puck. Tips it back to Simmons to Bellemare for the shot. Save Anderson. And he hangs on to that one.
But Craig Berube really mixing and matching with different combinations, looking for the offensive answer to Craig Anderson, and that time it was almost Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Good shot. Didn't have much time to pick a spot. And he had shot wide earlier in this game, so he wasn't about to do that again.
There's gain control. Carlson move it up the board. Chiasson clears it all the way down, though. That's icing. Flyers will take that. Another offensive zone draw with 3:06 remaining in the third period. Gives us a chance to take a peek at our Mazda top shelf performers in this game. Hoffman, the goal for Ottawa. Anderson, 29 saves. Mason's been even a little busier than Anderson. They've both been very good. Simmons, the goal for Philadelphia, and Claude Giroux making his return to the lineup and getting a point on the board. Flyers numbers, games that Claude Giroux gets a point, are a heck of a lot better than when he doesn't. They're still awaiting their first win this year. A game in which Claude Giroux does not record a point. He's got an assist in this one. There's Carlson. Head for Ryan. Got it to Setter. Zibanejad takes over. Deals to Hoffman. For Zibanejad. Now up the wall, Phillips. A shot. And now Mason gets leaned on, falls backwards as the puck wound up right in the blue paint. It stayed out. I'm not sure if Mason actually made a save on that first shot. There was so much congestion right in front of him.
Kind of a dangerous posture for Steve Mason to end up in, on his knees and then bent over backwards. You worry about his knees. Although butterfly goalies have pretty flexible tendons and ligaments in their knees.
Let's hope.
Strange redirection, you're right. There's a loose puck, so of course the forward's going to take advantage of it.
Flyers battle hard to get this puck, and Wayne Simmons pushes forward with it. His dumping attempt, though, is cut off. And here's Pajot the other way, getting a lot of ice time here in the third. The diminutive center iceman for the Senators. Flyers get it back. Raffl with a head. Elmar gets it off of a Senator, but then it's taken back by Greiba. Chopped that by Coburn to Raffl. He's got a little room this time. His shot, though, off the stick of Phillips, who's been blocking shots like that for a long, long time.
Well, a reminder, the Flyers take on the Washington Capitals this Thursday at 7. Then they're going to face off against the Boston Bruins. That's Saturday at 1. Reserve your tickets now with the Flyers free mobile app or just by visiting PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
Giroux looks on as the Couturier line goes to work. 2:03 remaining in regulation time. They'll drop the puck again. Couturier against Chiasson now. And the Senators get control. Cowan swarmed upon by Umberger and Reed, but got the puck around. It's kept in by McDonald. Umberger then tied up, gets it back. R.J. Umberger harassed from behind, takes the shot. Anderson the save, and he'll hang on again.
Boy, good second and third efforts by R.J. Umberger at the blue line to keep it alive. Scoring opportunity awaited him. And when he was able to finally corral this puck, he got pretty good juice on it as he fired it towards Craig Anderson. Matt Reed looking for the tip.
Good second effort by Umberger. Right, Billy, getting that shot off. Need to get that traffic to the net a little quicker.
Senators get control, though, off the draw. Ryan sending Zibanejad to the Philadelphia line with speed. The shot squeezes through Coburn, but wide. Ryan tried to center. Umberger is there. And he'll send it to the boards. Couturier and Schultz could not combine to get that out of the zone. Now Couturier reaches back and sends Reed up. Matt Reed surrounded by white jerseys as he gets to the Ottawa line. Flyers are changing behind him, so he'll just backhand it in. Anderson gets to Carlson. Quick little pass to Zibanejad, and now Bobby Ryan. Fifth game. Wells Fargo Center at the NHL level for Bobby Ryan. Didn't come here very often as a member of the Ducks. Cross ice, here's Voracek working around Cowan. Voracek, the deke, and he just could not step around Cody Ceci. Young defenseman hanging on and able to get that puck away from him. Into the final minute now of the third. McDonald across. Andrew McDonald sizing things up and then giving to Giroux. Giroux from the red line will wind that one in. Anderson is able to stop it for Condra. Condra drills it up. Schultz waiting for that at the line. Schultz to Giroux. Quick shot, redirection, Shen. And Anderson had an answer for that one, and he did. Now it's Cowan moving it ahead, and Turris will catch up to it. Drops it back. MacArthur across. Cody Ceci charging up the shot. Save Mason. He got just enough of it. 20 seconds remaining in the third. Simmons has 3 Senators to deal with and gets it ahead to Giroux. Giroux moving up with Shen. Giroux to the red line at the end of his shift, and he'll play it in. Anderson has to glove it. Oh, and they gave him a lot of time to get rid of the puck there, so no offensive zone draw. Giroux hurting as he goes to the bench. Turris blasts that one in on Mason as the third period comes to an end. So 60 minutes, not enough to determine a winner here tonight. We head to the overtime after these messages.
Welcome back to the start of overtime. Time to have a look at our Bud Light player of the game, and it's that man Wayne Simmons. Gets himself in a big fight earlier against Colin Greening. He wins it, then Flyers down 1-0 in the third. Simmons with the heroics turnaround on the power play, beats Craig Anderson 5-hole. That's Wayne Simmons, Bud Light player of the game. He's had a good one, guys.
9th power play goal for Simmons as we look back at the only scoring of this game. Came in the third. Ottawa first.
Mike Hoffman with that burst of speed that we've seen him use a few times in this game. Flyers went on the power play shortly after that and answered. Wayne Simmons on the hinge, as he always is, to the goalie's right. And that is why we're headed to overtime in this real tight 1-1 contest.
Each team with a point. We'll find out which team gets the extra point here, either in the overtime or if they can't determine it in the next 5 minutes in the shootout. Homestand continues Thursday night. Washington Capitals and Alexander Ovechkin, pretty fresh from their Winter Classic victory. We'll be here. Our coverage starts with Flyers pregame live at 6:30. Senators are 3-4 in games decided in the overtime. Flyers 3-2. We are underway. 4-on-4. Voracek and Giroux right off the hop for the Flyers. That's Giroux poking the puck free. It would be so like Giroux to step up and come up with a huge play in the overtime, as he's clearly not at 100% in this game. Instead, though, it's Ottawa moving up. Zibanejad. Checked by Schultz. Voracek gets the puck to the captain. Giroux slowly in across the line. Waits. Coburn drives the net. Giroux holds. Now it's pass to Voracek. Right back to Giroux. The one-timer save. Anderson saw it all the way. Flyers did not screen him at all. And now the Flyers were thinking about changing, but instead Carlson moves the puck up ice. Giroux's back. Carlson cutting to the middle. Drops it off for Cowan. Cowan checked by Voracek. Coburn couldn't get it away. Now Cowan has it back. Tried to center it. Went behind the net instead. Flyers a bit out of sorts here defensively as the cross-ice pass is picked off. Ceci all the way around behind the net. Got it out in front. Schultz couldn't come up with it. Bobby Ryan turns with it. His shot hit a man in front. Turris to it. Turris waiting. Holding his pass off of Voracek. Flyers are very tired. They need a change.
It's a long change, too.
Right, they changed this year to overtime. Hoffman, cross ice. Ceci has the puck. Cody Ceci. Senators hanging on to the puck. It's Cowan back to Ceci. Tried to drop it off for Turris. Coburn over, but he couldn't get to it. Flyers are winded. They need to get this puck out of the zone or freeze it. Senators get it toward the slot. Diving play by Giroux, and he backhands it out of the zone. Now they're not going to be able to get the change, or at least not completely. Voracek does get off the ice. Still three very tired Flyers. Now Giroux is going to get off the ice. Charging into the zone is Carlson. Carlson swings wide. The angle drive misses. Goes out to the line, kept in by Hoffman. Dropping it off for Turris. Back across ice it goes. Now the pass to Hoffman in the slot off Coburn to Turris for a shot blocked. And the Flyers have it. Couturier moves it out. Couturier with Reed charging the net. Couturier for Reed, but it was too far ahead of him and played instead by Hoffman.
That may just have been the longest shift of the season for Nick Schultz and Braden Coburn. They just got off.
He played almost half of the overtime.
Yeah, it was 2 minutes and 20 seconds, guys, what I had him logged at.
Wirkosh. Around Simmons. Jason moves up with it. Alex Jason. Get around behind. MacArthur couldn't dig it off the wall. Wirkosh will. Wirkosh charged at by Schenn. It goes off his stick and up over the glass and out of play. Immediately after the game, stay tuned. Al Morganti will break this game down along with John Borak, plus Coach Craig Berube's press conference, player interviews, all on Flyers Postgame Live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Not a lot of goals in this game, but a lot of shots. 73 of them, right?
Nick Schultz is still trying to deliver oxygen to the bloodstream, to the muscles.
Nick Grossman gets to the puck here. Starts up. Nick Grossman in across the Ottawa line. He's going to carry it all the way around behind the net, but lost it there. Bobby Ryan to the puck. Bobby Ryan maneuvers up the ice with it. Ryan to the line, and then his shot blocked aside by McDonald. Ryan takes Couturier in, and McDonald gets the puck. 1:43 remaining in the overtime. Flyers not really huge fans of the shootout. They go offside at the Ottawa line. We've talked about this. You wonder if Craig Berube thinks about going to 3 forwards to just try to win it in overtime to avoid the shootout.
Well, if he's thought of it, he hasn't telegraphed it or let it be known to anybody.
You know, I think a lot of that theory, guys, comes down to what you think of your defensemen and if they can, you know, if they're good skating defensemen. Because if they are, and they're willing to join the rush, you don't necessarily have to have 3 forwards in the 1D. So, but I do, you know, you get down 2 minutes now, you may as well take a shot at it. 1:37.
Well,
Del Zotto will get up the ice. I mean, I guarantee you that.
Puck goes back to the Philadelphia zone, and it's Mason for Del Zotto. They say that puck stayed in the zone. Here's a shot. Mason, the save on Carlson. Just got a piece of it. And now the Flyers have the puck. And the 2 defensemen out are very offensive-minded defensemen, that's for sure, in Streit and Del Zotto. Streit got that puck deep. Now it's Carlson ahead to Turris. Turris up the right wing. Thurl and drag, lost the puck. Voracek to it. Voracek back up the ice. In across the line, Voracek finds Del Zotto. Fired it wide. He was looking for a tip instead of actually shooting it on goal there. Here's Del Zotto. Back to Voracek. Voracek dinks, takes it around behind and out in front. Voracek then lost control. And it ricochets off of skates. Turris ahead. He's got MacArthur. Clark MacArthur then turned back as Streit was able to get back, but MacArthur still has the puck to Turris. Back across MacArthur. Couldn't one-time it. Now back across Turris. Shot. Mason has the answer. And play is stopped. Dave Mason, a couple of huge saves here in overtime.
Man.
What a wild overtime this has turned into.
And Chris, you called it about Michael Del Zotto. He's really quick to get up the ice. And instead of firing that one on net, he was looking for Claude Giroux on a deflection. And Steve Mason at his end, reading the play was the key there. He knew where Kyle Turris was and was set up and waiting for him, even on the one-timer.
There's a shot by Phillips that crawled up the equipment of Mason. And he'll melt that down. Another offensive zone draw for Ottawa. You had a look at all the chances in this game, and the shot count continues to climb. Approaching 80 shots on goal in a 1-1 game. Giroux could not control this draw. Ottawa gets it. Face-off. Checked by McDonald. Puck squirts free. Braden Schenn dips back to get the puck and then turns back with it. 20 seconds. Cross ice Giroux. Giroux back for Schenn. Schenn a burst of speed and across the line. Schenn's shot is muffled and goes back behind the net harmlessly. Now it's Carlson to Jason. And Cody Ceci, one last push by the Senators. Ceci, drop pass, Peugeot. Peugeot, the shot, blocked by McDonald. Giroux to the puck. Oh, and Giroux tumbles into the boards. The last thing he needed to end the overtime as he again winces in pain as he heads to the Philadelphia bench. But The overtime is over, and now it's on to the shootout. And Mason had been great through 65 minutes. Now they face shooters here in the shootout. Flyers have lost 10 straight, 0-5 this year. Ottawa 3-3 this year, and they're 4-0 against the Flyers all time in shootouts. Flyers have chosen to shoot second. Luka Zibanejad will shoot first. He's 2 for 4 this year.
Pretty good at this.
And he scores.
He went stick side on Steve Mason, and why wouldn't you? Mason's glove is so good. Great puck movement by Zibanejad. No chance for Mason.
Jake Voracek 1 for 3 this year. And he will try to tie it back up. Eyes the right wing and cuts on in and scores.
Good job by Voracek, guys. Came in from the right side, the left shot. Anderson kind of, I think, thought he was going to go high on him, and he got him 5-hole. It's a really good shot right there by Jake.
Now Bobby Ryan, the local product. The fans let him have it. He's 2 for 4 this year. And he's denied.
Great job by Steve Mason outweighting Bobby Ryan. Outweighting and patient to see what Ryan was going to do and then react. And his reflexes took over from there.
And now Giroux will try to give the Flyers the lead in the shootout. The captain on in. And he could not finish.
He had him, guys. That little head fake. He had Anderson down. He bit first on the move before G just missed the top corner, and he had it open for himself. Frustrating.
Kyle Turris. The shootout tied at 1 into the 3rd round. Turris is 1 for 6 this year. He's in with some speed. Glove save, Mason.
Not on this side of my body, Steve Mason says. One of the best catching gloves with his right hand in the NHL. And Kyle Turris found that out firsthand.
And the crowd roars as Sean Couturier can end the Flyers' utility and shootouts right here. Off the post. Can you believe it?
A lot of anticipation here in the building, guys. Fans knew the Flyers' record. They struggled in shootouts. Coots hits the post. Man. Right off. How did Anderson beat all the way?
Mike Hoffman, 0 for 1 this year. 0 for 1 in his career. Mason owns him.
Well, Mike Hoffman couldn't take advantage of his top asset on this play, which is his speed. It was his hands, and he's already scored 1 in the game, but not there.
Another chance to end it right here. Braden Shen, 0 for 1 this year. Save Anderson.
Craig Anderson pretty calm about this one. Just threw out the left pad. Erik Karlsson set up here for Ottawa.
He is 0 for 1 this year. 2 for 7 in his career.
He is tricky.
Save Mason! What a stop off a great move.
Not that tricky. Another fantastic job by Steve Mason of staying with this, waiting to see what Karlsson was going to do.
Wayne Simmons, his first attempt this year, tries to win the game. And he does! At long last, shootout success for the Flyers. Your final. The Flyers end a 10-game shootout losing streak, and they get